Hey Course Hero, welcome to the channel. Today we are talking about email automations and how they work in New Zenler. So if you're new to the channel, I talk a lot about New Zenler, but I also talk a lot about online course creation in general, whether that's using Teachable, Podia, Kajabi, Thinkific, or any other platform. I'm mostly platform agnostic, but all my eggs are right now in the New Zenler basket because it is an all-in-one platform like Kajabi and like Podia. But in my opinion, obviously a little bit better. I'm also an affiliate for the product, but I'm here just to teach you and show you what you can do with this platform. And with that, let's get started. Okay, email automations in New Zenler. I wanted to show you how this works, and there's a few places you can go to automate emails and also just send regular emails. First place I would like to show you is email broadcast. Email broadcast is basically when you send one-off emails to your students. So this would be an example right here. I had sent this email where I created a video of Teachable versus New Zenler. It shows how many people it was delivered to, how many people opened it, how many people actually clicked on it, and then how many unsubscribed and bounced. So then you can also click on the detail view to see what was in that email, and you can see some of the emails here that it was sent to. You can see the date it was sent, and also if you click on view details, you'll be able to see the exact email along with the subject, the body, and also who it was from. In this video, here's the body of the email. I had sent an email letting people know that I have a new video out which shows Teachable versus New Zenler and how they compare. And then if there is no footer in your email, it automatically will insert an unsubscribe link in there, and it'll show you which contacts this email was sent to and what were the filters applied for those contacts. How you do that is I can go back into email broadcast and simply create a new broadcast here, but I have one which is drafted right now, so let me show you that. First thing when you're brought to this window is going to be the title. This is just for you to know what kind of email you had sent out, from name, from email. And here, if I hover over here, you can see it says who will this broadcast be from, and then also the recipients. So right now I have my entire email list, which is 237 contacts, but I can filter this further. So this is akin to a traditional email marketing system. I can go into filters and add a new filter group, and then I need to add a filter in this group. So my filter is going to be that I want to send this email to only people who have opened my previous email. So email opened, and now I can select here which email was open, and I'm going to go down to my broadcasts, and here are my email broadcasts. So I can say send this to anyone who opened the sales page or the video kill the radio star email. So you can see right now it's 273, but once I save changes, it goes down to only 21 people. That's how many people opened this particular email, and that's the filter I'm applying. So I can always edit this and say, I want to send this to anyone who has consented to the EU consent. So they've granted me the consent, and I hit save. Now that is only one person. So I can only send this email to one person, and everyone else has not granted me access. Now this doesn't apply to me because I'm in the US and most of my students are in the US, and I don't have the checkbox anywhere, so it won't apply, but that's also another filter you can use. Now these filters are going to be the same across different places that I'm going to show you today, which is automations on course level, automation in the funnel level, and also within right here email broadcast. So you can also segment people based on tags. So I can say only send it to people where tag contains free. So right now it's 22 people where the free tag is there, and now this email will go to 22 people. So you can also add multiple filters. I can say that send it to only people who have the user tag free, and there's only an and option right now. I can change this to or, and I can say also in course. So I'm going to only send it to people who have the free tag but are also enrolled in a particular course of mine, which is this one right here, New Zenler Mastery. So I've applied those two filters. It is always looks like it's always an and operator, not an or operator. So you cannot say one or two, it's one and two. Both have to be met in order for this filter to fire. Finally, if you're using SMTP, you can change the mail settings, but right now I'm just using Zenler mail, and then we click next. Here you will create the content of your email, which would be your subject line and your email content, and then finally you can also send a test email When you're creating the content, you can go into HTML mode and apply some HTML language in here if you wanted to. I usually don't mess with it. If you have any another email service provider like MailChimp or MailerLite, you could design your email in there, look at that HTML code, and then import it in here to make it look fancier if you don't like the simple editor that Zenler gives you. And then you can also add personalization tags, like I have here first name, so I can simply click on personalize. These are all the personalization tags that you can add into your email. And then there's these other options. You can format it, you can bold, italic, strike through, put a list, image, table, link, text color, and text size, and then also the text alignment. So you can change those things here. And then finally, when I go into, you can also preview or send a test. And then in the final, you can either draft this, leave it as draft, you can schedule it to go out on a later date and time, and these date and times work on your time zone, but you can also change that time zone if you wanted to. If most of your students live in a different country than where you are right now, maybe you're on vacation but you still need to send out this one email, the system will automatically detect your current time zone, but you can change that to the respective time zone that you're from, or you can just simply send now. If I go into schedule, I can pick a date, and of course the date has to be in the future, and then also a time. So let's say I want to send this at 1 p.m. I can do that. And then you can again, at the final step, you can also test before sending, but I'm not even sending this. I'm just going to leave it as draft and then save as draft. So that's how email automations work from email broadcast. This isn't technically an automation. This is a one-off email you're sending to your entire email list. Next, we're going to look at how this works in courses. So if I go into courses, pick this course here, the Zenler Mastery, I'm going to go into automation. Now this one has automation rules already built in by Zenler. And what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to create a brand new course to show you how automation works. All right, so in my courses, I've created a brand new course called Email Automations. And in this, I've already set the pricing plan to be a free pricing because I'm doing this for the demo. I haven't touched any pages. I have added a curriculum, basically added a module and a text lesson in it. And then now let's head into automation. So the idea about automation with courses is when someone signs up for your course, you want it to kick off some sort of automated email welcoming them to the course. And then if you have drip enabled, you want them to be automatically receiving emails every time a new lesson is published. So first thing I want to do is I want to add a new lesson in here. I'm actually going to add a new section. This is going to be called drip 1. And then in here, I'm going to add a lesson. When you click on automations, there are two automations that are pre-built kind of for you, and you can delete them. So if I click on this here, I can delete this if I wanted to by going into it. So I can go into edit automation rules, and that's going to give you a separate window. And now here I can delete the enroll email sequence or the course completion email sequence. I'm going to leave them as is, but I'm going to show you what else you can add under automations. So you can go in here, you can say upon enroll, upon course complete, or upon lesson complete. These are the three triggers that will trigger an automation from within a course. So let's look at them real quick. The first one on enroll. When someone enrolls into your course, what should happen? The first thing is I want to send them access instructions in an email so they know how to access this course in the future. And that's right here. And when you click on an action, these are all called actions in an automation. Whenever you click on an action, you have this window that opens here, which shows you what else you can do here. So action name is access instruction emails. This is essentially an automation is an email that you're sending to them, but automations can also do more things than just send an email. In this case, because I'm sending them an access email instruction, the system is asking me first name the action, then when should this go? Should this go immediately? And if you want this to go immediately, you just say after 0 hours of enrollment, and that makes it immediate. And you can see everything is going to happen from enrollment. Or you can send this on a specific date and time if you wanted to. If your course is timed across a period of time, maybe you run a course every April 1st to April 30th, then you would put those dates in there. But most of us, we do it upon course enrollment. So after they enroll in their course, I want to wait 5 minutes and then I want to send them this access instructions email, because for the first 5 minutes I want them to watch this welcome video and I don't want them to get distracted if they see a email notification come through. So that's why I'm going to wait 5 minutes, but you have minutes, hours, days, and weeks. And then from, who is it from, name, email, the subject, and also the content of the email. Now Zenler team has done a great job that there's some pre-canned stuff in here, but they basically let you know that, hey, just delete this and put your own stuff in there. Now, the only thing that is going to automatically pull in here is the first name of your student. Everything else you have to fill in yourself. So just remember that. And then you can send a test email. You can also set filters for these automations. And these filters can come in handy, because if I go into filter here and I'm going to say that only send this automation to students who have a particular tag on this course, then the system is going to look for that tag. Now the question is, how do you add tags to a student when they enroll in a course? That is also done in automations. So let's go back up here. We've already looked at filters in our email broadcast a few minutes ago, so I'm not going to repeat that. But what I'm going to show you is, if you go on Enroll and add an action, I can add a tag, and the system is reminding me, do you want to leave because there's unsaved changes? Yes, I want to leave. And then here's the tag that I just want to add. And that tag is going to be called free course. That's the action name, but I'm also going to name the tag same. And I'm going to say anytime someone enrolls, as soon as they enroll, apply this free course tag on them. And I'm going to save changes. Now the system is reminding you that this current action is currently paused. Do you want to make this action live? I'm going to say no, because I want to show you how to make this automation live. And how you do that is by simply hitting this toggle switch here. So you toggle the switch. That will enable your automation, make it live. But at this point, you have the option to also apply this to all your existing students on this course, or only to new students that come in after this automation was made. So I'm going to say no, which means that only new students will get this automation, this tag will apply to, and not anyone who has been in this course previously. Now that this one automation is live, let's go and test it out. So what I'm going to do is go to pages, grab the URL for the checkout page. And remember, this course was free, so I'm not going to need to pay anything. And then what I like to do is simply add a plus in front of my Gmail account. So enroll for free. Now this button text is from your pricing plan or from your course. Yes, from your pricing plan. So whenever you're setting up your pricing plan, you will have the option to change that text for the button. I'm going to say continue to course. Here I need to put in my details. Now I'm brought into this course. Let's go and see what happens on the back end if that automation was applied to me as a student. So I'm going to click on the Students tab for this particular course. That will automatically apply a filter, which is enrolled in course email automations, and shows me this. And you can see the tag was applied for free course. Now that is super powerful, because now you can segment your students based on these tags and then run future automations based on these tags in other courses. You can see how this would cast a wider net for your other automations as well. That's the beauty of automations. And what we can do now is go back here, see what other automations you can do. So first was, you can send an email upon enrollment. You can apply tags, but you can also apply a webhook. You can notify an admin, and you can also remove tags. So say someone is in your free course and they join your paid course. When they join that paid course, you can essentially remove the free course tag if you wanted to, and only apply a paid course tag. I personally just like leaving tags in there and keeping track of all my tags in an Excel spreadsheet. Because here, if I go into email broadcast, there's no place here where I can look at all of my tags, and they can kind of get unruly when you have a million different tags and you yourself forget which tag has what purpose. So it's a good idea to keep them either in an Excel file, in Trello, Notion, whatever management system you use to manage your courses. It's a good idea to keep that tag list in there so you can always refer back to it and keep it up to date. Let's go back to courses. So those are the automations. I have personally used webhooks and they work perfectly. I love using webhooks. In my use case was, I had bought this deal on AppSumo. I think it was called Evidence or something else, where it shows a notification on the screen in the bottom left corner, like such and such just purchased your course, and that detail was being fed to that software using the webhook functionality. Now webhooks is a little advanced functionality. It is really simple to use once you get the hang of it. You don't have to use it. It's just there as an option if you wanted to use it. That's one of the other ones. You send mail, add tag, remove, and notify admin. If I click on notify admin, basically I will be sent an email that someone just enrolled in this course, which would come in handy if you have a high ticket course that you're selling and you want to get notified as soon as someone enrolls. So you can send them maybe a personalized message from an app like Bonjoro. You can use the notify admin feature to do that. So that's it for all the automation series that happens on courses. Now this was on Enroll, which means when someone enrolls, take this action. But then you also have the same actions that you can do when someone completes the entire course. So you can send them the course completion email, or you can apply a tag that the course has been completed and maybe move them into a different automation. And then the final one is on lesson complete. Every time they complete a lesson, you can send them an email. Hey, good job. Thank you for completing the lesson. This would be positive reinforcement, but it could also get out of control if you have like 100 different lessons and you set up an automation for each and every one of those lessons. The other place you can look at automations is marketing funnels. And I'm going to use this webinar sign up funnel because this has 10 leads in it. How the automation works, the rules for automation is pretty similar to that of course automation. So once you understand one particular automation, it all starts to make sense from then onwards. Here I can go back into edit automation rules. You can see I have two automations that are active. The first is whenever someone enters this funnel, I want them to be tagged as a webinar tag, and then I want them to receive the webinar registration is confirmed email immediately. On the courses part, it is upon enrollment. In automations, it is upon subscribe, because someone is subscribed to your marketing funnel. They haven't necessarily purchased a course yet. So you can select on subscribe. Now I can add a rule on subscribe only. That's my only option, but I can also have that rule fire maybe 2 days after subscription. So let's create a new rule, and that rule is going to be follow-up email, and this is going to be on subscribe. I'm going to save change. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add an email, and this email is going to go on a particular date and time because that's when my webinar is. So I'm going to send this email at 1:45 p.m. Eastern time, and the mail subject is going to be webinar reminder, and then you can just put in whatever content you want and then send a test email and then hit save changes. Again, every time you hit save change, the system is going to ask you, this action is not currently live. Do you want to make it live? I'll say yes. Then it'll ask you, do you want to apply this to all the existing leads? I'm going to say no, leave them alone. Don't apply this to existing leads, only new people. So I'm going to say no, this is live. And you can see here, if I click on this, it shows live. If I click on the other action before this, you can see the live ones and also the paused ones. And then you can also delete this. If I don't want this one in here, I can simply click the little recycle trash bin icon and then say, okay, go ahead and delete it. Now all the automations that are happening on this marketing funnel are live. One thing you cannot do is you cannot automatically enroll them in a course once they sign up through a marketing funnel. That you can just simply email them and let them know, hey, I saw you just signed up for my webinar. I also have this free course. Check that free course out, and you can do all of that and send email. So that was automations and email marketing in a nutshell on how you can do all of this in Zenler. You can see the power of how this all works. And to give you a use case, how I would personally use it is, say someone signs up for this webinar funnel. I put them into my email automation through this marketing funnel, and I send them 5 emails, right? Send them an email letting them know about Zenler. So in your case, it would be about your product, your niche, letting them know a webinar is coming up, sending 2 more follow-up emails on the day of the webinar, and maybe one another email after the webinar asking them to sign up for my free course. Then I can continue to send them more emails asking them to sign up for the free course and apply a filter saying only send this email if that person does not have a tag called free course. Because then I can have a second automation in my courses which says whenever someone signs up for this free course, add the tag free course in there, and then this marketing email automation will stop when it sees that a user has a free course tag. They will continue to go down that path of your course automations where a bunch of other automations are happening, hopefully, and then eventually get into your paid course when you apply more tags and continue to use automations to serve your students and to send them those messages when it's most relevant to them. And there you have it, course ninjas. That's how email automations work within Zenler. I hope you can use this on your own Zenler platform. Just a quick reminder, you get 3 schools with Zenler on their current beta plan, depending on when you're watching this video. And that's $447 a year for all 3 schools, which means you can use one of those schools as a test site to test all these email automations before you start sending real emails to your students. And with that, I will leave you to it. Keep creating, and I will see you on the flip side.